What's going on, traders? How we doing in this market? It looks like we got ourselves a continued bull rally, of course, as the TLT goes higher to 88.50. And I didn't do so bad myself today, but definitely keeping an eye on different stocks. Best call of the day definitely had to been on Tesla. I hope you guys caught that on live trading. Not a bad trade mentioned there. Let's get to the stocks right now. You guys can see the TLT holding the pullbacks below 88. And this is so important as we continue to drive higher back towards this 89.05. Can we start to hold 88 or will we pull back towards the 85 spot? Of course, 85s would get some bulls a little bit concerned, but as long as the TLT can stay hot, stay strong like it is right now, I don't expect the stocks turning around anytime soon. And you guys can see the Qs getting above that sideways day and now continuing. And what do you see leading the party? Well, you see the big boys leading the party. Apple with a nice little lift off here, now towards 182. Microsoft now 361, really close towards this 366 high where we turned around last time. It's been a big run there. Amazon continued to strength all day long, now breaking through almost towards this resistance of 145. That should help turn around different names out there. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on like Shop as that continues higher. And man, what an opportunity down there into the 46 we had earlier, just earlier, on the 31st, Halloween. Should have been taking a shot on that Shop. As we see this go higher, Meta continuing to push. Google strong, AVGO strong, even NVIDIA strong. And that's just how the market's going to do it to you. It's up there now to 461. I think this might be time or getting close to the time to ring the register in NVIDIA. But to tell you the truth, the market's not showing any signs of letting down and showing that I feel like big money is probably positioned strong till the end of the year. Adobe, 3% move higher as that goes to 586. And you guys can see the sector's outlook overall, technology and cyclicals leading, and that's really getting the push. Even the leisure names. We talked about, would we get kind of the retail trade? This is probably the best setup for me as I continue to watch and looking for a nice big move as we continue to move in these kind of stocks. These especially retail going into the holidays is something that I'm keeping an eye on. Look at the move on Ulta now. This is starting to get hot. I've talked about looking for the turnaround in this one. Now this is really starting to take off. 386, nice little turnaround here, really starting to push. I don't mind looking for pullbacks in this. I'm going to continue to watch. I'll look for the 390s on pullbacks for Ulta, but we just talked about this trade yesterday. And another one that we mentioned was Elf Beauty and how that had slowed down a little bit. But definitely not a bad trade in the XRT. Walmart, Costco continuing to climb higher. TJX not looking too bad. Target even getting a little bit of a lift today. AZO, DG. So this is definitely the area where I can see some continued strength go into it. Starbucks is one that I'm keeping an eye on. Best Buy has been kind of weak. Will this get a little bit of a run towards, of course, Black Friday? But all things to keep an eye out for, right? And of course, in the cyclical space, it's not just these stocks. There's a lot of stocks on here, even gambling names. Look at DKNG continuing after their earnings. It's now up there to 36. Man, this has been a good move in DraftKings. For those investors that were able to get it down there in the 14s, the 13s, and even going down the 11s, man, that was such a great opportunity. I know I was watching it as it was coming down here. Man, these are some times where you have to be thinking, not your trading hat, but investing hat. I think DraftKings will probably and could be never back down there. Something to keep in mind. How's Penn doing here? Did that continue the strength? Yes, it's continued the strength. Now 4 days win streak. We'll see if Penn can continue. Of course, big day for it next week as we get closer to the 15th. The 15th will be on Wednesday next week as the ESPN Bets comes out, and we'll see if that continues to push higher. Something definitely to keep an eye out. We'll see if these stocks want to continue pushing to the next level. But these resorts, casinos doing well, leisure, footwear. I've talked about Nike way back when it was just breaking 100. It got above 100, came back, held that. Now it's up there towards 109. This will help names like even Crocs, right? Look at Crocs just hanging out here. Will this start to get the lift? into the holidays. I kind of like how it did that down gap. Now it's holding. You know what? This one looks like a swing trade to me. Nice little setup here. It doesn't look too bad. Still hasn't made the run. And I think it can continue, especially if we continue this overall just strength that we've been in. I'll be looking for small little pullbacks, but this has been a laggard. And I think that this is definitely one that I keep in a watch, especially if it goes back to 86, 87. And I'm not a big fan of Crocs, but to tell you the truth, it looks like it wants to keep going. And Deckers, man, what a strong stock. Anytime this stock starts to decline, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it. The 200-day, it got close to it, and now look where it's at. That was at 500. Now you're at 631, 28% higher as footwear accessories. This is the leader in the space. Most people think it's Nike, but Deckers Outdoors, just straight killing it. And it looks like they're not stopping anytime soon. What about on holdings? We saw those continue strong. That's not looking too bad there. And even probably the Skechers isn't looking too bad as that continues higher. Not a bad area to take a look at. Of course, consumer cyclical has a lot of your retail names, specialty retail. I've talked about residential construction, DHI, DR Horton continuing the strength, now up there to 121. This is one that I definitely should have had at 100. I tried multiple days to get it there, but it only were going down there in the pre-market, and now back to 121. What a nice move there. All right, let's keep going. What are you guys looking at in the chat? If you guys are new to the show or for some reason just dropping in, say hello. And what stock is on your radar? We can definitely take a look. All right, let's keep going. Let's take a look at what else led in the technology space. Let's go to the Qs here and see what led in the Qs. You see NXPI bouncing back today. Adobe, Datadog up there to 102. Big move there. Zscaler continuing higher. PDD turning around. Airbnb turning around a little bit there. Moderna's been bouncing a little bit. Broadcom going right back to the upside. This is when I'd start looking at a stock like maybe even SMCI. It really hasn't partaken in the rally, and I'm looking for this as kind of like a swing trade here. So I'm going to go ahead and risk about $4. I got to be a little bit careful there, right, as I get to a stock like this, and give myself the ability to maybe add. So I'm going to go with a small amount here, try to get in on this 254.48. We'll see if I can get that, kind of get that hit right there. There we are. We just got there, 254.48. We'll look to see if this starts to go higher. I'm taking a small swing trade on this one. I still have Roku to the short side, but this has just been staying hot. A little part of me is thinking that I need to cut this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to set like an 85 out. If I have to get back to 85s, I'll get out of this one. Taking a little SMCI though, based on the fact that, you know, a lot of these have just started to come back. So I'll give it a shot here. Anything below 250, I'll get out. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is being mentioned here. Healthcare going higher. Also defensive staying strong. Defensives have been strong as of late. Soft drinks today, we saw Celsius had earnings, right? How did that do? That came down all the way towards like the 168 level, then bounced right back towards 176. So keep your eyes on these names. Definitely some volatility coming into play. We'll see if Monster can continue higher. If that continues higher, there's no reason why I don't see CELH getting the dip bot and right back towards 200s or maybe that 197. Doesn't look too bad though. Something I'd keep my eyes open for. Healthcare has been bouncing back, and so has industrials. Let's take a look at some of these actions. GE getting a little bit of a lift. How are the airlines doing? Been keeping an eye on the airlines to see if they want to continue to lift. They just started going sideways, now pulled back, held the gap here. This doesn't look too bad to maybe just make a little bit of a rip higher, especially going towards the end of the year. Maybe it's a push towards 14. Maybe it's not insane, but 16% higher, definitely something that I want to keep an eye out for. So if we can go through 12s tomorrow and start pushing through there, I want to take a shot again on American. We'll see what happens here as it starts to work its way higher. Definitely something that I want to set an alert for and make sure that I see it as it starts to go through those levels. So setting that alert as it crosses the 1205 line, and I'll be looking to take a shot probably tomorrow. You guys catch that, of course, on live trading. If you guys want to see me come after it, We'll see what happens there. Let's go to some other stocks, of course. Industrials have been kind of pushing strong. Honeywell has been hanging in there. Lockheed Martin took a little bit of a dip yesterday, still kind of hanging in there. So let's see what happens with these space. I'm not the biggest fan of the XLI right now, but it has been climbing back. I have played this multiple times. We'll see what happens. Are these kind of lower PE, heavy debt names going to take another hit down? I'd keep an eye on like stocks like Caterpillar and Deere. Deere have been down to the 370. Will we start to see Deere really let go? So if you look here on the monthly, we're really close to support. But if we go to the next layer is down to 350, and then it could be the 300s soon after. We'll see what happens there on Deere. It could definitely start to break down. But Emerson Electric had earnings today. That's coming down here, not continuing the strength. That definitely got hit hard, and that's in diversified industrials. Also trades with kind of GE, but it's still bouncing back a little bit here. All right, let's get out of this space. Financial services kind of going higher towards the end. This is the space that I don't know why you'd want to invest in, because it does go higher, but there's not much there. If anything, I'll be looking in the long run to get short on KRE, especially if I can get back here towards, let's say, 46, 45. I'll take a shot. We'll see what happens on these if we start seeing some downside come in. Communication services has been making a good move as of late. I was wondering, was this going to turn back around? And Verizon still hanging in there. So these are names that I keep an eye out for. When we do get a down day, I'll look to see if these turn right back to the downside. Of course, that's Verizon and AT&T. And T-Mobile is one you can look at, but I don't think that's going to break down as much as the other two. All right, let's keep going. AMC, I'll take a look at it for you, Roxanne. I don't expect to see anything there in AMC, but I will take a look. There's nothing wrong with, of course, taking a little bit of a peek. AMC just kind of getting a little bit of a push here, but not much. I mean, it is trying to hold on to the $10 spot. But, I mean, this stock could easily come right back down. And you guys don't forget, this did have a split, a 1-for-10. And that's the only reason why it's back up here, right? If not, it would be lower. I don't think AMC is getting anywhere out of this range. Even if it gets a pop, the next thing will probably be a drop. So I'm sorry out there for all the apes that are still expecting AMC to kind of go higher. Honestly, this company, to me, is just so scammy on the way that they approach things. I hate the way they are. I don't know why I would want to support them. But hey, you guys out there in retail, all right, sometimes think otherwise. Let's keep going. Wally, what are you taking a look at? CCJ, of course. Not a bad one. It's pulled back, held the 40 today. I'd want it to hold that 40, not break 40 again. Start going back through the 43s. Now you're looking kind of a cup and handle pattern, right? Because you got this little bit kind of the cup action. Now we need that handle action to come higher and get back through the 43s. I'd keep an eye out on that. I wouldn't want it to break this kind of support here, 39.87s, start working its way to 43, and then might be able to get the breakout that you're looking for. Of course, metals and minerals have not been the hottest names, so be careful out there, team. Just not my favorite. Look at LAC now. This was back at 20s. Now it's at $7. This could be in a world of pain coming up here. And I've been keeping an eye on these. These are not just small names, right? There's a lot of here that have been destroyed. Look at ALB. It's down to 122. At some point, this is going to be something that I would take a shot on an investment. But where is those levels going to be? Well, we're still ways away from there. I think I'm going to be looking for somewhat down there towards 60s, 70s. And if that happens, yeah, somewhere between this kind of like 81 to 56 range, oh, I would take some shot on ALB. Definitely one of the top lithium names. But right now, it's not about lithium. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at what else is going on. AMC had their day long ago, and I agree with that. Shorting oil has been the new game, and I can't blame you on that. One that I've been thinking about is Valero. And would this one take a new leg to the downside? Today, we are getting that action. So now it's kind of more, do I take the shot from here? I think I can. And if I look for a little bit of a bounce in oil, I'll just keep like kind of shorting into that. So you know what? Let's go for a little bit of a short here on Valero. I'm willing to take 122.76 here. Just got that 122.76. And as you can see, the bid already moved up there to 79, about 3 cents in the red, but it's a smaller position, right? So I'll look for this to leak overnight and continue to leak down, not work back above 126. I'll look to add at 125 tomorrow if I get that opportunity. If not, I'm going to look for this to keep coming down. Why not, Wisdom? Why not a little shorting of oil trend? It seems to be working. And what's happened as of late? We were in the 70s. Let's take a little peek here of WTI. 77.46, guys. Days range towards 81. And I talked about it. If we got back in the 70 handle, that wasn't going to look good. Also for the XLE. And you guys can see how the XLE has just been falling off. Now about to break a trend line. You know what? This actually looks pretty interesting for me. Tomorrow, I'll be looking to add, instead of getting double short like Valero and XLE today, what I'll do is I'll go Valero, small piece today, look for a little bounce tomorrow in the XLE, and then hammer down on it. This is not a bad one out there. Keep your eyes on it as energy starts to break. And when energy starts to break, be careful. Those solar names, those are dangerous plays in technology. I would be a little bit careful on names like First Solar, SEDG could still go down, ENPH. Those are not the names I want to be in, especially in this environment. And that energy turnaround is also affecting names in coal. Those are going to be in your basic materials like BTU, CEIX, AMR, right? Those have been taking big hits down. And a lot of that is the turnaround that you're seeing in energy. So you got to keep up with these things, guys. What are you guys seeing out there? Throw it up in the chat. You guys get an opportunity, like always, to throw up some stocks. So if you have anything, we'll take a look at it. Bearded Juan, what's up out there? How we doing, man? You got a stock you want to take a look at? Let me know. All right, what else is being put out there? We got Wisdom Square looking like a run. Not too bad. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look here. Square is trying to get a little bit of a lift. I can't trust these companies one bit. They do get a little bit of a lift. If there was one that I'd be looking at, I'd like lag play PayPal here. But to tell you the truth, I don't like these at all. I know that why you guys like them, and yeah, they're beaten down. But man, they're too beaten down. There's something wrong here. Something's wrong with Square and PayPal. I don't know if it's the competition that's out there, but hey, nothing that I'm going to touch right now. On long term, I kind of like Toast. I think this could be a little bit of a buyout, maybe even from Square or PayPal, but we'll see what happens, guys. They do kind of the same thing. We'll see what happens in Toast. It is pretty cheap right now at 17. We'll see what happens there. Roxanne, well, I guess I'll lose it all. I held it for 2 years, bought it high. Lesson learned, AMC sucks. And I would agree with you, Roxanne. AMC sucks. And especially it sucks for those that kind of bought into the story expecting, these kind of big money to get run over again. There's very rare times ever where retail trades run over the institutional trades. That has happened at least only once in my eyes in bigger names. And AMC wasn't really a bigger name when it kind of got pumped. It was at $3. I still remember catching that right here on an afternoon show where I saw AMC trade 100 million shares. And then I was looking at it and I was like, why the hell did this thing trade 100 million shares today? Do they know something that I don't know? We'll see what happens there. AMC now on an average trades what? You can see it here on a daily basis. It's only trading 15.2 million. So if you see 100 million trade on AMC, let me know, right? Because that's what got it started in the first place. You see this big spike here? You see those big spikes, especially this one right here. That's what you want to be catching, guys. It did a 10-for-1 split. So this kind of volume right here, this is what I would have been looking at. I remember when it came out of that 3 spot and went pretty strong. We'll see what happens there. It's down to 10. I think this eventually gets down to the penny game. Sup, bro? What do you think about Hood after the close? Well, we'll take a look at Hood here. Hood doesn't look too bad. The only problem with Hood is, are you seeing a lot of trading action going on? I don't think there's too many people taking too big shots in the market, especially when money is just doing so great on the sideline, Maybe this gets a pop because it's a good environment to report tonight, especially as the market stays strong. But we'll see what happens tonight. And like always, you guys can catch up with the earnings reports right here. And let's see what was on the radar for tonight. Oh no, it's not that one. Not AMD. It's not that. It's not that week. Let me go ahead and upload it here. I got it right here, guys. All right, there's the earnings for this week. Let's go ahead. Let's bring this up here. All right, so tonight we'll get what? We'll go into Oxy. We'll get into Lucid, Rivian, Gilead, eBay. Will Lucid give some good numbers? Let's take a look at Lucid. Ooh, this thing's down to $4, man. Why didn't I short the hell out of this thing when I wanted to short it? I should have been shorting the hell out of this thing, man. I've always been against Lucid. I've talked about it. The Lucid Dreamers sometimes think that they're going to take Tesla. Do we think this is going to take Tesla, guys? No. And for that sake, I wasn't always right. I thought Fisker would be a little bit better, and this isn't looking good, guys. This one might disappear also. These EVs are in a world of trouble here, and it doesn't look like next year is going to be their year. So can they get through and maybe have enough cash to get to 25? Because I don't think 24 is going to be their year, but maybe 25 is their year. So you could see these companies also raise money. That's where I'd be dangerous to kind of play these. We'll see what happens with FSR, Lucid tonight, and Rivian. How's Rivian doing? Not doing too bad. Down to 17, has pulled back significantly. I could see this one maybe coming in with a decent report, maybe getting a pop to 20, but it's nothing that I'm going to chase today. It's something that I'll keep a watch on it. And in the long run, maybe Rivian could be that company that can hang around until 25. I know they have at least a lot of cash, but they burn a lot of it. So let's see what happens there on Rivian. If they can hang on, start working their way back to 25. This is one that has a lot of Amazon support, so I don't see it turning away from that support in the long run. Amazon said they want more Rivian trucks, so there has to be something there. Of course, they have their pickup truck, but we'll see what happens here on Rivian. Who's seen a Rivian on the road? Let me know in the chat. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going up out there, team. What do you guys have out there? What are you guys talking about? SoFi, interesting for longer term? Yeah, the problem with that play with the student loan repayments is that, remember, guys, who are they paying right now, right? They're not paying SoFi, guys. They're paying what? They're probably paying the federal loans, right? And if you get SoFi, it's kind of more of a private loan. And who's making new loans in this environment with interest rates so high? If anything, yeah, they're paying. But is that going to be enough to ride SoFi higher? Honestly, I don't feel too confident about this one. I think this one's going to go nowhere, at least anytime soon. But that's my outlook. Stacy saying that she sees tons of Rivian trucks in Los Angeles. I've seen them. I think they look pretty nice. At least it looks like a real truck. But we'll see what happens out there. Losing on Lucid too, Roxanne? Oh, Roxanne, you got to stick around here more often. We talk a lot about those stocks. Like always, I can't tell you what to hold, but man, you got to be careful with those types of names. Zim Shipping is a fantastic short based on war, insurance, and shipping costs in the Middle East. Are we going to see the shippers go crazy, Wisdom? I don't know, but your outlook is something that I'll keep an eye out for. We'll see if the shippers start to make a move. I always keep an eye on certain shipper names. So you know what? I'll set an alert here. But this is nothing that I think we need to jump too quickly on, right? This is more like, where can I get this to start making a lift and start making a push? We'll see if this can start making a move back up through the 8s. That's something that I'd keep an eye out for. All right, you let me know, Wisdom, when those shippers start to make the move. I know that there's some people that look at what is called the Dry Baltic Index. You can look that up. I looked at that one time in my trading career as I saw these shippers go to the moon, but the Dry Baltic Index is something to keep an eye out, Wisdom. I always like to give you some extra. You brought one, I'll bring you one. Take a look at that one. All right, let's keep going. What else is being mentioned out there? You saw a fleet of Amazon trucks, Rivian trucks. Yeah, I think the long run, that's probably going to be the number one used, at least from Amazon. And in the long run, probably picked up by a lot of places. All right, Roxanne. Yep, we are paying federal for my son's loan. Yeah, paying the federal, right? And not really paying SoFi, right? But paying, just the Fed. And so if you're looking for something like that, I'd look at like it's SLM. And so if you're looking for a play that you might not see as the SoFi play, but is maybe the play to take a look at, is this one right here, guys. And look how the monthly chart is setting up. So this is SLM. Look into what this company does, of course, and you might find something there for the trade that you guys are looking for in SoFi. Always like to give you guys a little extra. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's 4:03. Markets are closed. I stayed a little bit extra, but definitely the Q's staying strong here. So we'll see what happens with that one. I took my shot on SMCI and Valero. Still have some Roku. That's the one that I don't feel too confident in. That's more like against the market move, but we'll see what happens with that. 3 positions on. Find out how they go tomorrow. And of course, catch me tomorrow morning on PreMarket Prep. That's where we go into the markets with, of course, Dennis Dick and Joel Alconen. Get you guys ready for the market. If you're not catching that, definitely catch that. That's every morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, right here, of course, on Benzinga. It's good to see you guys in the chat and some new faces jumping in here. Stick around. We do this every single day. 3:30 is usually when we're going to go ahead and start swing trade. Is going to be here for you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hit the like button. Keep working out there. And like always, keep careful, guys. This market is not easy. And right now, it seems like we got ourselves a little bit of a Santa Claus rally, a little early. So Santa Claus is coming early to town. The only question is, by the time he actually comes, will he be bringing some coal with him? Something to keep an eye out for.